What's your whole take on the whole Tekashi 6ix9ine situation? Who's currently, because last time we talked, he was still telling people to suck his dick and, you know.
That's going to happen for him now. He going to get what he wanted.
Now. Oh, really?
He's going to get a whole bunch of dick sucking going on now.
Other way around, motherfucker. I mean, yeah, man. And now he is facing heinous amounts of time.
Yeah.
Football numbers. He's got a Fed case. They've had wiretaps. They have photos.
Yeah.
They even got that one video
Rico.
They got Rico on him. They got that video where it looks like he's like,
talking about putting
30 bags on Chief Keef's cousin. Like, not to say he's actually doing it, but on the video it looks crazy.
He's talking loose.
You know, and all these pieces got fit together, and now his trial isn't until like next September, and they're not letting him out.
Yeah, I think too, it was crazy. I think the Wildin' Out tour, we probably had his last show.
Oh, he came out?
Yeah, he came all the way to San Diego. And that was like a day or two later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that, I mean, having to chop it up with him.
You guys talked?
Yeah, man, he's a good kid. I mean, in the sense of like a normal kid, you know what I mean? Like, didn't seem like, you know, some of these guys, you talk to him, like, yo, he ain't all there. Or he's like,
whacked out.
Yeah, like, super high. He was very coherent, respectful, funny, you know what I mean? Like, and to be like, all you can be is sad for the situation, man. Like, the system, whatever it is, whether it's how we allow hip hop to get to a point where this kid came in less than a year, sold this image, and now is facing life for an image.
That he sold himself.
Yeah. And it was just, you could tell he wasn't really, but we all knew he wasn't about it like that, but from the people he kept around him to how he moved to what he had to talk. Like, this ain't the first time we saw people pretend to be gangster. You know what I mean? We seen this from the beginning.
I think he had actual gangsters around him.
He definitely had actual gangsters.
We're not just.
They wasn't pretending.
They were not pretending.
But I feel like he was more of a puppet. You know what I mean? And how to.
But a puppet that was pulling his own strings, in a way.
Yeah.
Listen, and I've said this.
Part of it was the trolling, and part of it, but like, do we think he was walking around smacking people and shooting people? And
no.
I don't think that was from the guy that I met. That he wasn't that guy.
No.
But the guy, he kept some real guys around him, which a lot of us, we all keep real guys around us.
But according to some of these photos and videos, he was joining in on some of the fuck shit that they were doing. He's in the fucking photos. Like, you see that arrow pointing. There he is during this robbery.
Right.
There he is during this shooting. There he is right here. He's got rainbow hair. He's not going to blend in. You know, he shows up on video. And they found a bunch of the shit from the robberies at his house. Yeah. As well as some guns and everything else like that, man. It's one of those things where
they definitely gonna make a movie out of this shit.
Yo, like, I think that
who's gonna play Tekashi?
All these rappers think that whatever they put on social media, they could just say, "Oh, this is just make-believe."
Yeah, they incriminate
these real juries, you know, of middle.
Well, shit. How do you feel about that, man? Because like, you interview a lot of these guys, and you ask them some real questions.
100%.
And sometimes they question or their answers, they saying some shit that they probably shouldn't say based off of being and a lot of people have accused you of being the police and the feds and all of that shit.
And all that, yeah.
Because they're sitting here talking to you, spilling the fucking beans, snitching, talking reckless.
Right. I always try to steer the conversation into stuff that's happened before outside of the statute of limitations.
Right.
I never talk about what they're doing right now.
Right.
If these people are continuing to do what they talk about,
right,
what they talk about in their music, if they're actively continuing to do it.
But do you know they are. They not just say, "Oh, I shot a motherfucker 3 years ago." They still got a gun now.
Anybody who is selling drugs should not be rapping about selling drugs.
Everybody who's rapping about selling drugs is selling drugs, Vlad.
Really?
Oh, if there's
Gucci's still selling drugs. Jay's still selling drugs. Jeezy's still selling drugs. None of these dudes are selling drugs.
I'm talking about the guys.
Like,
but I get, okay, I'll keep it this. I bet you while they were rapping about selling drugs early on, they were still selling drugs.
They probably shouldn't be doing interviews during that time.
If VladTV was around then, because, okay.
I mean, listen, Rollo got indicted for like, you know, he got caught with like $2 million worth of weed. And we did this interview where he talked about he lives in like this kind of fortress, like, you know, in this old neighborhood, and he employs his guys and stuff like that. Then he gets busted. He's a popping artist.
Right.
Rollo was popping. He was doing shows nonstop.
Right.
I have no idea if he's still doing illegal shit. I'm assuming he's not.
Nah,
and we talked about the shit that he used to do. Then he gets busted for that. And it was like, oh, was that Vlad interview that got him busted? Like, no, it was all the shit they caught him with that got him busted.
But
Vlad didn't have nothing, dude.
But still,
Vlad wasn't filming none of that shit.
Again, but it goes back to what I talk about, vanity and ego. They want to get here and sit with you and tell you how big of a boss they are and how they like Scarface and how many keys they got and how many pounds and a lot of it be true. And the fact is, I don't know, this is just how I feel, just knowing a lot of these guys and how they move. And if it's not, usually it's not the artist.
Yeah.
But it's one step removed from the artist. Mm-hmm. That's who the feds are watching.
Yeah.
That's who they paying attention to. Who's financing this? Because think about it, every scenario, every rapper we know is financed initially from drug money.
Some.
Every street rapper.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I ain't talking about, you know.
Yeah.
Whoever, you know.
Asheroth.
Yeah. Every street rapper, you gotta get your start in the streets. Even for your record to be hot, it gotta start in the streets.
Oh yeah, no,
And
I mean,
guarantee you, every CEO of a whatever street record label is being watched.
Big Meech used to go club to club and give the DJ $1,000 to play Jeezy record.
Yeah, and this
is an actual thing.
But you got
Jeezy got hot because BMF got behind him and helped push him, and he had the talent to keep going with it.
And what you gotta also realize, because this is why I commend all the drug dealers, the dream is that I could take this dirty money and get clean through rap, which to the feds is money laundering. But they just trying to make it out. But the feds don't look at you that, oh, you're trying to stop destroying your community and do something better for your life. They're like, no, you're trying to wash that dirty money in a legitimate way through music. And that's what the hip hop police are for. That's why they are doing it.
That's actually what they accused of Murder Inc.
Right.
doing. Murder Inc. had a Fed case of that exact thing. They're saying that Supreme, was laundering his money through Murder Inc. They spent like $5 million and beat the feds.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah. I had Chris Gotti tell the whole story. They were offered like a plea deal of like a no jail time thing, and they still continue to fight it, and they actually beat the entire case. They explained how basically Supreme was broke by the time they started this investigation. Like he was no longer the drug kingpin. They were giving him money, but they tried to say the whole thing was funded by him.
Yeah, because they saw some black men thriving and they wanted to tear them down. Yeah, and they felt like they could.
And even though they won the case, it essentially ended the reign of Murder Inc.
Yeah, because all of that money it cost, and trying to destroy their image.
Yeah, they got kicked out. Because I remember they were raiding Def Jam offices.
It's that famous picture with Irv Gotti in the cuffs.
Yeah, no, they were raiding, because they were in the Universal building, and the feds were coming in raiding the fucking building. Yeah. And they were sharing that building with Microsoft.
Right.
You think Bill Gates people were cool with that? Yeah. They're trying to have a meeting with like IBM, and then feds are storming
the FBI is in this motherfucker.
Nah, they were like, y'all gonna get the fuck out.
Yeah. Nah, and it's unfortunate, man, but again, like I said, you find yourself in that scenario quite often, but it's like these guys, they get out here, whether it's on social media, whether it's in interviews, and whether they toting around guns and all that type of stuff, and whether they're living that life or not living that life, that's what's glorified. That's what makes us seem more like men. That's what makes us seem more gangster. We can talk about what we've been through and what, opposed to like focusing on the right stuff and the true empowerment in doing for others. And I feel like we all get to that space. If you even whether it's Kodak or whatever, you see these people, you see Gucci, you see everyone trying to evolve. You see everybody growing. You see T.I., you see Jeezy, you see all of these people growing into men of great morale and great stature, but it takes a minute to get there.